case landed on my desk this morning at the NV Ranger & Co. offices. The client operates under an alias, one Dr. Paradox. That's all he gave us. He's hired us to investigate the television broadcasts of Night City, a mix of talk shows, finance reports, and cartoons. So let's start with a simple Night City cartoon. Harmless, I'm sure.
On to any unexpected sounds and activity in high-risk situations by using live ammunition.
Safe and Sound looks like an adult cartoon such as South Park or Family Guy. It isn't. It's marketed as educational content for children meant to teach them about surviving in Night City and navigating the NCPD. The structure is simple. Two main characters, Officer Dobbs, who explains the scenario, Mr. Puggins, who tests the lesson. This simple formula shows us what not to do. I'm not going to shock anyone by saying this is NCPD propaganda. Call it an open secret.
Mr. Puggins is free to carry on. But before hitting the road, don't forget to extend a small token of your appreciation for the police officer's service.
What's more interesting is that this should be viewed by every kid, adult, and pug in Night City. Propaganda or not, and it is, this show could save your life.
Another mistake. Corporate forces have the right to open fire on any intruders without warning.
NV Ranger & Co. is about to drop you into a gorilla enclosure, but beforehand, I offer you a pamphlet explaining how to not get mauled. Don't stare, get low when confronted, and don't fight for food. Is this big gorilla propaganda meant to keep you submissive and hungry to the greater ape's benefit? Sure, if you want to think of it that way. It will also keep you alive. That's what Safe and Sound is, except Night City is the gorilla enclosure and the NCPD are the gorillas.
So, how can Mr. Puggins stay safe? He should quickly search the area for the nearest ADU, or Automated Defense Unit, and find shelter as close as he can. Its job is to protect civilians and, if possible, neutralize the crazed attacker. Mr. Puggins should stay in cover while the ADU is active. If he's not careful, he could be the victim of friendly fire. Mr. Puggins might also be tempted to call the police, but that's both unnecessary and unwise. The ADU has already notified the authorities of the attack. But more importantly, many cyber psychos have auditory implants, which means they can hear you, even when you whisper. When the police finally arrive at the scene, Mr. Puggins should not speak to them unless spoken to, and should not make any sudden movements. NCPD officers are trained to respond to any unexpected sounds and activity in high-risk situations.
Be honest now. How many of you knew to look for an ADU, not get in its line of sight, not call the police, and not go near them when they arrive? I didn't. I'd probably do all four or die after failing the first step. This show teaches people how to move through a hostile environment where the police are heavily armed, undertrained, and probably more stressed out than you are. And just like the gorillas, don't look them in the eye.
Better think twice, Mr. Puggins. Under the Safe Streets Act, the NCPD has the right to open fire on any vehicle that refuses to pull over. Let's give him another chance. This time, he promptly pulls to the side of the road and knows to turn off his engine, rest his head against the steering wheel, and place his paws behind his head. As the police officer approaches the vehicle, Mr. Puggins decides he'd like to ask why he's been stopped. Wrong again, Mr. Puggins. It's the police who ask the questions, not you. Remember, never speak or make eye contact with an NCPD officer unless told to do so.
It's not just for police matters either. The show offers guidance for navigating the city, entering the Badlands, and avoiding criminals. People will think, I'd never let my kid watch that. It's violent, disturbing, and again, propaganda. It teaches people to be submissive and feed into corruption. And they're right. But that kid would also grow up not knowing how to avoid provoking the police, which is easier than you might imagine, and how to act when faced with the city's rampant crime. You could argue that parents should just watch the show and relay the information to their kids. Yeah, because we all know how well kids listen to their parents and how poorly they absorb colorful animated cartoons. I bet at least half of you watching can quote SpongeBob like it's gospel. Anyway, welcome to Night City. You are incentivized to trade in your quality of life because The alternative is not having a life to lower the quality of. These shows are central to that dynamic. Safe and Sound is survival conditioning. It teaches you how to behave. Now let's move on to Night City's biggest talk show, Night After Night with Ziggy Q. Should be a familiar voice, but there's a lot of content in this show that easily gets overlooked.
Then, Zeta Tech sends its repo squad. I was on my knees, begging for another month, even a week. But they didn't listen. They tased me, ripped out my arms, and just left me there. My daughters, they...
I can tell you're still hurting. Even got some tears there. How about drying them with Militech's brand new Dropner 5X?
What? No. No. This isn't happening.
Oh, but it is. Ziggy Q's is where it's always happening.
Haha, look at that. Might even make you feel kind of good in a world where everything seems so damn grim. Not really. Poor guy with no arms and no hope gets a new lease on life. There's more to this than you might imagine. Sure, Ziggy Q is profiting off the misfortune of Martin here. Doubt Martin cares though. But the truth is, Ziggy is only a middleman, a secondary benefactor if you will. The real string puller here is hiding in plain sight. Coincidence he ended up with Militech equipment? Fat chance. Let Ziggy spell it out for you.
Tune in again tomorrow for another Night After Night with Ziggy Q, only on N54.
N54, that's Network 54, one of the two dominant broadcasters in 2077's North America. The other is the Arasaka-backed World News Service, or WNS. We'll get to them later. N54, on the other hand, is backed by, you guessed it, Militech and the NUSA. This was a PR stunt, not a charity event. Martin benefits, and the masses are worse off for it. This is meant to be subtle. Watch Ziggy talk to the author of a book written about Hanako Arasaka, and keep in mind, N54 has a bias against that company.
Happy to be here.
Tell me, did you ever consider researching a less hazardous topic? Maybe scavenger chop shops or the inside of a volcano?
Well, it's true. Saburo Arasaka wasn't exactly ecstatic to hear I'd taken such a keen interest in writing a piece on his beloved daughter.
Now, in case my dear viewers don't recall, the last person to pen a biography on Hanako Arasaka committed suicide. The poor man shot himself 10 times in the back.
She leaves her residence only a few times a year, rarely speaks publicly, and is always surrounded by a small army of bodyguards.
Wow, how does she occupy so much time cooped up in that crystal cage of hers? Origami? Crossword puzzles?
I'm afraid I don't know, but her villa is equipped with a private fiber optic cable capable of 300 terabytes of bandwidth. So...
Are you suggesting she's a netrunner?
Well, now, I didn't say that.
We have to take a quick break, but stay with us. I'm not done with our Mr. Mark Maratovich just yet.
Notice how Ziggy keeps bringing the conversation back to negatives. He compares Arasaka to volcanoes and scavs. He references Arasaka's hostile nature and by the end has essentially put the author's life in danger. This is not an accident. This is faction-based propaganda. The primary target isn't Arasaka though. They're gonna catch some strays, but the real focus is the average person, and the message is subtle, indirect, and consistently pro-megacorp. Ziggy doesn't just fly by the seat of his pants. The more you watch this plastic peacock dance, the more you realize how calculated and intentional his agenda is. The interview he does with an academic from Night City University illustrates that wonderfully.
Oliver Hernandez, give it up, folks!
Thanks, Ziggy. Pleasure to be here.
So, apparently, you made a petition to bring birds back to Night City.
That's correct. Since the establishment of the Avian Extermination Act almost 15 years ago, we've seen the complete destruction of the ecosystem, a rapid increase in the insect population.
Seems alright so far. The academic, Oliver, is making his case. He feels he's been invited on a show to bring attention to a cause. Now watch what Ziggy does.
Do you recall what happened in 51?
Excuse me?
The first major outbreak of bird flu. 7,000 innocent people dead.
Sure, but...
Fast forward to 59, more than 10,000 innocent dead. 12,000 dead in 61.
Don't get me wrong, Ziggy, those were tragic times, but we have to understand that all this could have been avoided if we hadn't destroyed these birds' natural environment, which...
Here with us tonight is a mother who lost both her children in 59. Stand up, please, Margot. Go on, Professor. Say it to her face. Tell her she's responsible for her children's deaths.
What? No, please.
You think Ziggy just had those pictures of mass graves saved on his phone for a rainy day? Maybe, to be honest. But do you think he just happened to recognize a mother of bird flu victims in the crowd? I must have missed the sign stuck to her head that gave it away. Oliver is caught off guard, so he begins to defend himself, refuting points, denying allegations, while Ziggy is rolling over him and working the crowd. He's not responding to Oliver, he barely even looks at him. He's pushing an agenda, one that just so happens to be pro-corporate. Watch how this ends, it's kind of funny.
That's not what I'm trying to...
Ladies and gentlemen, which would you choose? People or pigeons?
That's not what this is all about. If birds go extinct... Ow! Stop! Tell him to stop it, for Christ's sakes. Ouch! This is ridiculous. Stop it. Ow!
You're lucky you made it out alive, you son of a bitch! Mark my words, Night City. Ziggy Q won't let anyone hurt you. Tune in again tomorrow for another Night After Night with Ziggy Q, only on N54.
Ziggy's out here acting like Night City was moments away from being carried off by a giant eagle. Oliver tries to have a more nuanced conversation, but Ziggy shuts it down and reduces everything to a catchy headline. The show has designed a binary narrative, easy to digest and comfy on the brain. Hate birds, help people. A marketing masterclass appealing to logic, ethics, and emotions in a single clip. I'm sure many of you have heard the interview where he decimates a very ill-prepared spokeswoman
For the NCPD. Hi there, welcome to the show.
Hello, Ziggy. Thanks for having me.
I hope you made it to the studio without any issues. No carjackings or drive-bys along the way?
No. Fortunately, the streets of Night City are getting safer every day. We've seen recorded homicides drop from 7,103 a year ago to just...
Hold on. The streets are safe, you say, but what about the highways?
I'm sorry?
You heard about the shooting off the Route 1 exit, I trust. Half an hour before any response team arrived on the scene. Over 700 rounds fired in that time. What happened? Where are the gunmen now?
Why is Ziggy attacking the NCPD here? A lot of people enjoy seeing this, even Johnny Silverhand.
Look at that cop squirm.
Don't be fooled here. Ziggy is not a man of the people. Guess what many major corporations are involved in? Private security. Militech and the NUSA want more control of Night City. Wouldn't it be great if the NCPD, a publicly traded company by the way, were to crumble and lose public trust even more? Then corporations could swoop in and fill the role of police, especially one that's so benevolent as to give the disabled new arms. You might be wondering by now, why the hell does anyone go on this dude's show? Unless you're looking for a pair of arms, I guess. Watch the switch up when Ziggy is talking to the social elite.
The star of Braindance, Rodrigo Martinez. Long time no see, Rody.
Hey, up top.
Prime Optics. Today, we have been honored with the presence of a woman with a body of chrome and a voice of gold. Please welcome Lizzie Wizzy. Boy, do I have a treat for you. Make that 3 treats. On the show, we have the girls from, wait, how do you say it? Ass cracks? Us cracks?
Ziggy, you can say it however you want. Meow. He's pretty cute in person, isn't he?
It's a relief to see you girls in such high spirits. I mean, after someone destroyed your equipment truck, it must have been terrifying.
Isn't that interesting? Nothing but warm welcomes and softball interviews for the corporate-backed celebrities there to promote their new projects. Play nice with them, or they don't come on. If they don't come on, ratings tank. The intro makes everything seem plain as day. Dude rolls up in a golden limo. His fans are represented as mindless dolls just clamoring to get near him. In response, he steps all over them to climb up on his pedestal, which then rises well above the meaningless masses. A real man of the people. Night after night is narrative control. It teaches you the correct opinion. Megacorps run this world. If you live in Night City, you need to know about the state of the stock market. Your Business is My Business, hosted by Josh Kevorkian, is where you're supposed to get that information. How reliable is it?
Get out there and buy. Buy now and never look back. Regardless of our fates, the time to buy is now. I think you know what I'm going to say. Buy!
This show is on WNS, remember, the Arasaka-leaning network. So let's see what Josh's totally unpredictable opinion of Militech is.
Do we accept these jaw-dropping numbers as the product of healthy competition? Or being in bed with the authoritarian NUSA government? The line between Militech and the feds has always been fluid. The NUSA is far and away their largest customer, though in truth, these sales amount to no more than hidden government subsidies. This should raise a huge red flag for any investor with half a brain. Militech is suckling at the giant teat that is the capital. But should Washington ever run dry, kablamo! Want my recommendation? Sell, and sell some more.
Thanks, Josh. Truly fearless journalism. Let's see what he has to say about Arasaka in the very next sentence.
And if you're unsure where to shove all that cash on short notice, you can't go wrong with the Arasaka money machine.
A wild faction agenda appeared. Josh is breaking down the risks of buying Militech shares while downplaying the risks associated with Arasaka as if their CEO wasn't just murdered in his own property and taken over by his notoriously rebellious son. But here's the important part. The main purpose of these networks is to hoist up megacorps as a class, not pull them down, not hold them accountable. These networks are themselves megacorps, after all.
The governments of Brazil and Colombia, where Petrochem has its largest plantations, have planned to seize crop harvests in an effort to quell surging famine and unrest. Although Petrochem's expert team of lobbyists have prevented the seizures so far, company stock still plummeted as much as 11% last year. But before you kick him out of the window, Petrochem CEO Lars Mohammed announced last week the planned acquisition of 1 million acres of arable land in the USSR, specifically in its Kazakh, Turkmen, and Dagestani territories. Should Mohammed's gamble pay dividends, we can expect a mighty resurgence of investor confidence and skyrocketing stock prices. In other words, get out there and buy.
Here Josh is talking about Petrochem, the Texas-based industrial giant. Some might be wondering right now, wait, isn't this network aligned against the new United States? Yes, they are. The thing is, Texas is independent now. The US fell apart, and Texas went its own way. Josh begins by giving you the ugly details. It sounds honest. It probably is. Things are bad, but Petrochem has a plan. Expansion, acquisitions, endless supply. But there's an issue with that. He's not giving you the full truth. Petrochem is desperate and running out of resources. Now they look towards the USSR. Problem is, the USSR is effectively owned by Sovoil, Petrochem's direct rival. Not just in boardrooms, they fought a war over the South China Sea and it decimated both of them, yet Sovoil was largely considered the victor. Regardless, this did the opposite of bring value to the companies. What makes Josh so sure that Petrochem is going to roll deep into the Russian Caucasus and just take land? Bill here just told me he's going to start selling produce and he wants me to invest $1,000 into his business. Bill promises the returns will be crazy. I say, okay, Bill, but what's your strategy here? Where are you going to set up shop? He says, don't worry, I got just the place. Lots of people walk around this building I found, and they even have shopping carts ready to go for them.
NCPD officers.
This show also shows us how fickle corporate alliances can be. If Arasaka ends up losing half their value overnight due to a rocker boy-infused merc, Josh and his network become fair-weather friends real quick.
This latest slump has led to losses in excess of 500 billion euro dollars. Arasaka CEO Yorinobu Arasaka has since evacuated his Night City office for Tokyo. In light of these events, I have only one recommendation, my friends. Sell. Sell now while you still can.
Your Business is My Business is financial steering. It teaches you where money should flow. Welcome to Chip In with Karina Lee. This is supposed to be a cyberware and tech review show. In truth, it's a little more than a glorified infomercial. Karina is the perfect host for this. She's clearly passionate about the topics. She loves cyberware, knows it on a technical level. Thing is, she's aggressively happy and ecstatic about almost everything she reviews.
This Sin Skin is a perfect match for all you motorcycle nuts out there. Or if you just like to play with fire. Ladies and chooms, the Cubit 2 from Biodyne, approved by Kevin King himself. Available tomorrow in authorized retailers. Recording? Sweet. 3, 2, 1, go. Holy shit! Did you get that?
Even listen to her discuss some of the negative aspects of these Dinalar optics.
Probably the most important thing about the TX43 is that it doesn't have any neural side effects. This time round, the dizziness and migraines only occur when you're in motion. Downsides? Dynalar's policy means you'll have to give them access to any pics taken with the OptiZoom for marketing or research purposes. But that's just standard procedure. Here's my verdict. The TX43's got excellent quality to price value. So this is a solid 5 out of 5.
She just happens to be beaming with positivity, so joyful, so happy. It's not like she's trying to sell you something. We do get an interesting window into Night City in this episode, though.
The moves on this girl. Swoosh, swoosh. Slicing them up like sashimi.
Karina, happy as ever to watch that massacre. It speaks to how desensitized people are here. It's one thing to see a video like that in some dark corner of the net, but to play it on one of the largest networks in the world, uncensored, whole different story. No wonder this is a kid's show. Karina actually appears as a guest on Night After Night. She's there to debate a member of the church about the relic product from Arasaka. Even though N54 is anti-Saka, Ziggy and Karina double-team the Reverend to help normalize this new technology.
A companion forever with you in your own consciousness. Just imagine.
Child, think for a moment about what you're saying. This relic is an abomination that feeds on human misery. It is an unnatural likeness, a golden calf born by false prophets. Arasaka speaks of preserving the soul, but they can promise nothing more than a heartless, mindless algorithm speaking with the voice of the departed. What's more, this technology is just another tool of coercion and corruption. Only the wealthy and powerful elite will have access, and they will pay any price in exchange for a chance at this so-called immortality.
Well, that is true that Arasaka Corp has specifically limited access to the relic in order to...
Your promise is a lie, an evil lie, motivated by greed and lust for power that...
Now that is rich.
Hey, excuse me?
False promises, greed, a lust for power. Why, it sounds an awful lot like a church to me.
How dare you?
Do you not promise a life after death? Do you not charge funeral fees to a family in mourning? Maybe the Reverend is just afraid of some healthy competition, huh?
The point of Chip In is to normalize consumption. It teaches you what's acceptable to want. You starting to see the pattern here? There's nothing genuine on TV. No one speaks their mind, no one gives it to you straight. They toe a corporate line and push a particular agenda. It's not plain to see if you passively watch and lack background information. It's almost like this piece of fiction is trying to say something important. The most honest show we've seen so far is the NCPD propaganda cartoon. There's gotta be someone willing to speak up, and I think I found our champion. Ruth here hosts a show called Info Flash, and will come to realize that name is more accurate than you might think. Ruth is Night City's straight shooter. She goes at everyone, like a very strange love child of Eminem and Ellen DeGeneres.
Anyway, I guess Hanako Arasaka's PR crack team was worried with the ship being here. It might stir up some bitter feelings about Pearl Harbor. Oh wait, did I say worried? Because what I meant was having a fucking laugh. Maybe Myers will fly a rust bucket B-17 Flying Fortress over Arasaka HQ. Ooh, man, that is insensitive. I am so sorry. Where are my manners? President Myers. I mean, of course. Gotta respect the office. It's a pretty amazing coincidence, really. 4 billion people, and the best candidate for CEO is the son of the last one. What are the odds? Saburo said he didn't hold any hard feelings in his heart. Hard to do that when you don't have one, after all. Had no idea being Arasaka CEO paid so bad. You folks ever see him on the street, don't forget to flip a coin in his cup. The NUSA currently flexes its muscles as the 24th largest economy in the world, alongside other heavyweights such as Myanmar, Kumambo, and Malawi. One of those names I made up, but I bet y'all don't know which, am I right? The American Education in Action.
She's spunky, kind of annoying, but at least she's making fun of the rich and powerful on TV, and she's doing it to both sides. No one else is doing that. But again, these shows always go deeper than their surface. It's not an accident that every time Ruth rips on someone or something, it ends with a joke to soften the blow. The crowd laughs, and life goes on. She's making fun of real problems, but she's not calling anyone to action. She's just having a laugh. Listen to this.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it. Until next time, you beautiful idiots.
Every episode is rapid fire. Everything she says ends with a punchline. Here's a quote from Ruth in some of her writings. You might have seen me on TV where I host a satirical show called Info Flash. It's a pretty sweet gig. Once a week I get to read smarmy jokes off of a teleprompter written by our interns. And they pay me more than you make in a year. Everything she says is above board. She's not a rebel. Those are N54 interns, and she has this job from her father's industry connections. There is a reason she hedges every claim with a laugh. People can watch her show, feel like Ruth speaks the truth, vent a little, get some of the steam off, and then move on with their lives. Watch her discuss these current events.
Yesterday, 170 people were killed in a shooting in Chicago's South Side. Politicians in Washington have called it a massacre. Locals have called it a typical Tuesday. The Gulf Coast is in tatters in the wake of Category 5 Hurricane Zebediah. This is already the 30th named tropical storm to pummel the region this year. Unevacuated locals are running low on basic supplies. And meteorologists likewise on names.
Notice how she ended both tragedies by tying in a joke and a smirk. Then the audience, or what's more likely, the laugh track gets cued. If you pay attention, you'll notice how Night City-centric all of this programming is.
Good evening, Night City. Hey-o, Night City.
What up, Night City?
You know, sometimes I think Night City's kind of a shithole.
When Ruth talks about anywhere beyond Night City, it's contained in a segment called Bullshit Bulletin. Really drives home the importance of worldly events. It's nothing more than a flash of infotainment, hence the name. Ruth is pretend edgy. She makes people feel like issues are being acknowledged, but helps keep them laughing along the path to hell on earth. This is so much worse than we realize. Listen to this bit of info on the various personalities we've been talking about. Every one of you dreams of being Ziggy Q, right? Or Ruth Zhang, or Josh Kevorkian. Rich, famous, beautiful, always talk of the town. Careful what you wish for, though. The devil is always listening. Working in showbiz isn't always roses and rainbows, even for the stars. The corporations that give them airtime demand a little something in return. Copyright ownership of their names, their faces, even their genetic code. Crazy, right? Meaning, if any of your famous and beloved show hosts ever did something the network didn't like, calling for higher taxes, going off script, asking inconvenient questions, they'd be immediately let go and forced to undergo plastic surgery to change their face and name. The station will then create a clone to sit and smile for the camera in time for the following day's segment. InfoFlash launders emotion. It teaches you how to feel without acting.
Congratulations! If you're sitting and watching this, it means you survived! No lunatic broke into your home when you were sleeping! No piece of trash held you at gunpoint on your way to the subway! Lies, I tell you! Dirty, stinking lies! Don't you get that's what they want? They want you to wet yourself every time you hear footsteps behind you. Whenever somebody knocks at your door, they want you to draw that iron and pull the trigger.
Turns out our client was a part of the broadcast all along. That was Dr. Paradox. Every time he appears, it's an interruption. One program begins to play, and then he takes over by hacking into the network. Doesn't matter if it's N54 or WNS. His goal is to draw out the rage from the viewer. Listening to him is almost intoxicating. The subtle motion of his digital avatar is mesmerizing. This guy gets it. This guy understands the problems we're all faced with and isn't afraid to speak the truth. We need someone like him to hold power accountable. His delivery never changes, just the subject.
Hey you! Yeah you! Who you gonna vote for? Devolutionists or Federalists? It's okay. Don't answer that. It doesn't matter. Your votes are useless anyway. Both parties are pitching you the same old bullshit. Cancer capitalism, a libertarian dystopia, a world without values, hope, basic empathy. All they want for you is to slave away till you drop dead, to be a cog in the machine till you forget you're even human. They all say the same thing, that you too can be rich, that if you just work hard enough and take care of yourself, you'll make it to the top. Lies, lies, and more lies! The American dream is dead! We're living the American nightmare! A nightmare where you don't wake up! Behold! Poverty in every flavor of the rainbow!
It's time for change. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop dealing with this bullshit. But who's to blame? What's going wrong? What exactly do we do? Dr. Paradox must have the answers, but he doesn't often aim his sights on a particular group or person. Sure, he swings at low-hanging fruit, builds to a swell, but always leaves just before offering a solution.
Turn off your TV! That's right, come on! Now go and see how many blue screens go darken your neighbor's windows! That's how many of us there are! Think about what would happen if we all got up from our knees! United as one! Believe me, that day will come, and sooner than you think!
He tells you to turn your TV off, but the broadcast is still on and he keeps talking. He knows people aren't going to turn it off. My client hired me to inspect Night City's broadcasts, and now I'm inspecting the client. What's going on here? Well, an unnamed source has been speculating about this mysterious figure. Listen to what they say. Who is Dr. Paradox? Who's hiding behind that distorted mask? Unsurprisingly, Doc Paradox won't say. After all, he's breaking the law. He has to protect his identity. But think about it. Think. What kind of person could successfully hide from the world's most powerful corporations for years? Who could hack into encrypted TV channels? Who could disclose highly classified corporate secrets? The answer's obvious. Doc Paradox is one of them. He's a puppet controlled by the establishment. To what end? Maybe this is how corporations funnel our anger and frustration in a safe and controlled manner through a rebel who will never go so far as to issue a call to arms. Maybe he's being used to reveal facts that hurt the competition, or maybe he's just a branding opportunity. In a month or two, Avante could put out a new Doc Paradox line for us to wear our disapproval. Only time will tell. But for Christ's sake, don't listen to a word out of this phony's mouth. And what a hoax it would be to fake an anti-establishment character. It's not exactly clear what's going on here. The best bit of evidence we have to deny the claim that Paradox is a hoax is that he is cut off mid-broadcast once when he begins discussing Alt Cunningham and the Soul Killer program.
Deadly Artificial intelligences that exist only to destroy! Netrunners consumed in the net's tangled webs! Their minds lost to the void! Have you heard of the Prison of Souls about Alt Cunningham and the Soul Killer? No? Well then, buckle up, because I've got...
Was he cut off by Arasaka for going too far? Was he taken down by Netwatch? Did Alt herself put a stop to him revealing too much about her in the net? Or was this just an elaborate display to make it appear as if the viewer was about to get more information and the game was rigged from the start? Or maybe that shard was written by the Corpos to delegitimize and undermine Dr. Paradox's efforts. Maybe they want us questioning his integrity. Acknowledging him directly would validate his mission, but releasing an anonymous hit piece taints the waters with confusion. I tried to dig deeper on Dr. Paradox. Seems this guy has been around since at least 2020 as a writer, editor, and publisher, but more broadly, a media. Funny enough, he has a credibility skill, and it sits at 5 with the standard cap being at 10. This doesn't mean he's ignored, it means he's heard and disputed. Truth be told, with 57 years passing, we don't even know if this is the same guy. Could be someone else who took up his moniker. He plays at the idea of Paradox being a symbol rather than an individual in his own broadcasts. How about we just keep things simple? What's his name? Paradox. A person or thing having seemingly contradictory qualities or phrases. A statement or sentiment that is seemingly contradictory or opposed to common sense, and yet is perhaps true. A self-contradictory statement that at first seems true. This doesn't confirm whether Dr. Paradox is a corporate plant or an honest rebel. It only reinforces the reality that we aren't meant to know. Cartoons guiding behavior, talk shows guiding perception, financial programs guiding capital, reviewers guiding desire, satire guiding emotion, a rebel guiding unrest. I didn't interrupt their signal, I packaged it, and you clicked it. You could have turned it off, but you stayed. He didn't offer a solution, neither can I. Maybe you should just